Welcome to Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, site of the World Bowling Tour Men's and Women's Finals presented by the PBA. The men's stepladder features Jason Belmonte, the three-time PBA Player of the Year. On the women's stepladder, Kelly Kulick is looking for her third straight WBT women's win. For the fifth time, World Bowling will crown its men's and women's champions. Next.
Welcome to the World Bowling Tour Men's and Women's Finals. First, our women's finalist. She's the PWBA PBA Player of the Year, winner of 7 major championships from Cheektowaga, New York, Liz Johnson. Our number 2 seed is making her first appearance in a World Bowling Tour Women's Finals telecast from Stony Point, New York, Danielle McEwen. The number 1 seed is the winner of both the 2014 and 2013 World Bowling Tour Women's Finals. Can she make it 3 in a row? From Union, New Jersey, Kelly Kulick. And now our men's finalists. The number 3 seed is the 2013 PBA World Champion from Berkeley, California, Michael Fagan. The number 2 seed is a 3-time and reigning PBA Player of the Year, representing Australia, Jason Belmonte. The number 1 seed has 4 career PBA Tour titles, including the 2013 PBA World Championship. From England, Dom Barrett. These are the WBT Men's and Women's Finals.
And hello again, everyone. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. Kimberly Pressler reports laneside today. The World Bowling Tour 2-year rolling points list has developed 2 3-player stepladder finals for tonight, Randy, both in the men's and women's division.
You're right, Mike J. 6 of the greatest players in the world on hand today. These players travel the globe in search of bowling history, gold, and glory. And today headlined by 3-time and reigning Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte. His opening matchup will feature Mike Fagan, who we haven't seen in a while on the PBA Tour. He will be bowling Jason Belmonte in that first match on the men's side.
The winner of that opening match in the men's division will face the number 1 seed representing England, the Dominator, Dom Barrett.
And arguably one of the hottest players on tour now, Mike.
In women's division action, all-world Liz Johnson.
All-world is right. 7-time major championship winner, Liz Johnson.
In search of her first World Bowling Tour win, facing Danielle McEwen.
And Danielle might be the most athletic of the women bowlers today.
The winner of that match will face Kelly Kulick.
Kelly Kulick has got all of the moxie needed to win on the PBA's biggest stage.
And today's scoring will include the new World Bowling Tour scoring format. More on that in a moment. Now, here's Kimberly Pressler, laneside.
Thanks, guys. I am laneside, and I'm joined with Liz Johnson here. Now, Liz, when we talked earlier, you said that you're coming off the best season that you've ever had. So what is your strategy today to take that momentum and hopefully and possibly win your first ever WBT championship?
You just got to go out and make 10 great shots. You know, it's a little different format than what we're used to, but you still got to go out there and strike and fill frames.
How do you plan to do that?
Just try to make good shots and 1 shot at a time.
Keeping it simple. I like it. Guys, back to you.
10-frame match, no extra shots in the 10th frame. A strike is 30 pins, a spare is 10 pins, plus the pinfall on that first shot. Max score is still 300.
World scoring format in use in this World Bowling Tour final. Kevin Dornberger, part of World Bowling, the CEO, and his constant pursuit of bowling becoming an Olympic sport, is testing different and varying scoring formats. in order to qualify for future Olympic consideration. Liz Johnson opening shot in our semifinal women's division. Ten-pin. If a player leaves and converts the 7-10 split on today's show, he or she will earn the $100,000 ultimate spare bonus courtesy of Ultimate Bowling.
And Mike J., I've done a lot of bowling here at Woodland. I was fortunate enough to win here a few years back, and I've seen it this week. I've seen players bouncing pins out of the back pit. 7-10 conversion, very possible.
And a spare for Liz Johnson on the board. And our first look at Danielle McEwen. One pro title at the 2015 Smithfield PWBA Tour Championship that closed out the first season back for the Professional Women's Bowling Association Tour. Opening pitch for McEwen. Slaps the 8 through and a strike.
Take a look at the oil pattern that we're using on today's telecast, the 41-foot Montreal oil pattern. Multiple angles. You're going to see the players going fairly straight early. As that oil settles in and starts to dry out, the players will migrate a little bit more towards the center part of the lane. But Mike J., I really like this game. Watch this physical, athletic move by Danielle McEwen.
Ultimate 7-10 in place, and also the world scoring format will have complete scores at the end of every frame. Strike for 30, count plus 10 for spare, and any opens are count only. So at the end of the first frame, it's 30-19 McEwen over Liz Johnson. And this spare conversion is good for 10 more. Make it 19 in the second, and 49 complete frame for Danielle McEwen.
So if Liz Johnson strikes here on the right lane, we will be tied through 2 frames.
Liz's confidence level on the lanes is always high. She has built an incredible career domestically and now on the world bowling scene. Second frame in an opening match. Mixing and a 4-8 for Liz.
Little right of target and not enough friction outside to get that ball to hook up into the pocket.
World scoring with a spare here would net 18 additional pins. Will have complete scoring after each and every frame. (49-37) McEwen, 12-pin lead among all the players competing for points on the women's side of the World Bowling Tour. Kulik, McEwen, and Johnson. And the rest of the top 10, Missy Parkin, Clara Guerrero, Sherry Tan, Diana Zavyalova, Shannon Ng, Sandra Anderson, former top finalist, and Jazreel Tan. So that is a look at the world talent comprising the top 10 on the rolling 2-year points list. And Liz Johnson strikes. She earns 30 in the third frame, taking it to 67.
Straighter has always been greater for Liz Johnson. She said 2015, her best year ever in her career. Winning 2 majors, the Queens and the U.S. Open.
Danielle McEwen watched the first World Bowling Tour shows, and it became a goal for her to compete around the world and earn those points. And here she is. Third frame, and 9 with a spare would net her 19 for the frame.
With a spare here, she will maintain a 1-pin lead. And there's the athleticism of Danielle. Great position at the foul line. Steady head. Keeps her eyes on her target. Just a real solid physical game. And this youngster is learning how to bowl. Having a great season herself last season on the PWBA Tour.
Top finishes on the World Bowling Tour, tied for third at the H.H. Amir Cup and fourth in the Bowlmore AMF U.S. Open. Earning enough points along the 2 years to qualify for the top three here. Right, and a 30-pin frame for Danielle McEwen.
Perfect balance at the foul line and a perfect result. Drifts just a little bit to the left. That gives that bowling ball room to swing underneath her shoulder. A nice back end reaction. And that's a 10-pin party in the pit.
Liz Johnson, 41 years old, out of Cheektowaga, New York. Fourth frame in the world scoring format. And that will earn 30 complete. 98 and 97 through 4. McEwen by 1. Liz Johnson around the world on the World Bowling Tour over the last 2 years. Wins and titles at the 2015 Bowlmore AMF US Open and the 2015 USBC Queens, and a runner-up finish in the Women's World Championship. Fifth frame, Johnson trails by 1 using the world scoring format. And 6 around the 10.
Real good shot there. The 6 just wrapping around the 10-pin. Liz really wanted that one.
Spare here would be additional 19 for Johnson in the world scoring format. Liz Johnson, world score after 5, 116. Danielle McEwen, everything from Danielle's game, Randy, keys on timing, and it starts with the feet.
And she's always working on lots and lots of different things, even though her game looks very simple.
30-pin strike for McEwen. She moves to 128, takes a 10-pin lead halfway home. The winner here moves on to face Kelly Hewlett.
12-pin lead now for Danielle McEwen. Mike shreds the rack, and getting back to her physical game, she says, you know, my game feels very complicated.
How can it feel complicated?
Well, and you know, we talked about this, and I said, you know, I can really relate. Back when I was competing full-time, I had that simple-looking kind of game, but I was always working real hard on having good time.
6 around the 10, solid 10 for McEwen.
Right now, it looks like the left lane, the 10-pin is nailed down to the back part of the lane as both players leaving ring and 10s on that lane.
Spare and 19 additional for Danielle McEwen. World Bowling was initially founded in 1926 as the International Bowling Association. We'll find out how many countries support that movement coming up. The sporting community of Indianapolis, football, and of course, the greatest spectacle in racing. And the great support of Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis supporting professional bowling. Today's Columbia 300 fun fact. Since its inception in 2011, the World Bowling Tour has held events in 14 different countries. Finland, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Germany, Thailand, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Korea, the United Arab Emirates, Austria, France, Australia, and the USA. Now, Liz Johnson, under the world scoring format, 30 pins on a strike that she can come within 1, and it is a 9-pin world scoring, 30 for a strike, count plus 10 for a spare, count only with an open frame.
Liz struggling on that right lane, keeps getting it just a little bit wide. She says the key to my game is accuracy. Right now, Liz not being very accurate on that lane. She may want to just move her feet a just a pinch to the right and tighten up her angle just a little bit. She's got a really nice look, though, on this left lane. Last time up, though, working on a double, she left the ring 10.
Liz Johnson entering her 3rd decade as a professional bowler, and special memories in Indy, her first pro win coming here. And a 30-pin strike for Liz Johnson. Takes her to 165 through 7 frames using world scoring.
Here's where Danielle needs to step up and really impose her will. She's got a nice lead, and she can increase it to 12 with a strike here.
Strike for 30, 177, 165. World score plus 12 for McEwen. Today's stat provided by Rolltech. This week we took a look at the PWBA season averages of our 3 competitors, Liz Johnson, Danielle McEwen, and Kelly Kulick, also leading the PWBA in averages. And that was for last year on the PWBA Tour. And this is the rankings based on the 2-year points list on the World Bowling Tour. McEwen, 207 through 8.
Big shot coming up here for Liz Johnson as we take a look at her arsenal using the Alpha Crux.
Six around the 10. 9 plus 10 for the spare would net 19 under world scoring.
Running out of frames. Good shot finally here on the right lane, but just another 10 pin for Liz. 6 around the 10.
World score 19 for Liz Johnson. And a 23-pin advantage for Danielle McEwen. Coming up a little later, we'll have our 3-player stepladder in our men's division featuring Mike Fagan, Jason Belmonte, and the #1 seed Dom Barrett coming next in the men's division of the World Bowling Tour Finals. 9th frame. Another 10.
With the new scoring, a spare here will give her 203 in the 9th. She's running out of time and running out of frames. And the way Danielle McEwen's scoring it right now, I don't see her letting up at all. Danielle is locked in and making great shots.
Max score under world scoring from the start is still 300, 30 times 10. The 10th frame will feature just 1 shot, no fill ball. Chance to earn 30 for a strike with the 10th frame yet to come. Arsenal for Danielle McEwen. Eternal Cell on the right lane, Hypercell skid on the left. Foundation frame for McEwen. Mixing and a light 7.
We'll give her 226 with a spare in the 9th. Just a little bit right of target, comes in late, only leaving the 7 pin. If Liz Johnson can throw the 1 strike in the 10, best she can shoot 233.
Eight pins under the world scoring system will shut out Liz Johnson. McEwen, just 8 to advance to the championship match to face Kelly Kulick. That's a winner. Danielle McEwen advances to face Kelly Kulick in the World Bowling Tour Women's Division.
Only one ball in the 10th frame under this new scoring system.
32 late for Liz Johnson. 256, 233 final, and McEwen will move on. To be the best in the world at your craft and receive this memento, we'll award it following our championship match. PBA's Extra Frame is your home for exclusive live coverage of the PBA Tour, PBA 50 Tour, and PWBA Tour events. The newly revamped video subscription service will feature more than 1,000 hours of live coverage in 2016. Don't miss a moment of the action. 3-day, monthly, and yearly subscriptions are available. Click on the Extra Frame link and get started. Danielle McEwen wins the opening match against Liz Johnson.
Yeah, she was real good and hit the pocket. She never missed the pocket. She threw 6 strikes in game 1 to Liz Johnson's 4. And in the new scoring system, it's all about striking.
And down now lane side to Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. I am joined by Liz once again. And Liz, even in defeat, you have a smile on your face. Why don't you walk us through what happened out there?
I made some good shots. I made one poor shot after the break. It was kind of a long break for me, and one earlier bad shot. But overall, I was happy with my performance.
Well, despite this loss, you've had a phenomenal season so far. So what's next for you?
I got the PBA League that I got drafted for coming up in April. So I'm Portland Lumberjack. I'm pretty excited about that. And then we got the Ladies Tour coming up in the summer, 12, 13 weeks all over the country, so it's going to be an exciting year so far.
Well, you have a busy year ahead of you, and we look forward to seeing you during the PBA Leagues.
Thanks a lot, Kimberly.
Guys, back to you.
And thank you, Kimberly. Mike Jakubowski with Randy Peterson. Randy, Danielle McEwen, a winner, and both on the men's tour and women's bowling tour. Youth movement is for real.
Yeah, it really is, and I think we're seeing a lot of that because the youngsters are emulating the pros that they watch on television. But I think it's too early to compare the ladies tour to the men's tour because I think there's still a lot of game left in Liz Johnson, who had her greatest year ever last season, and Kelly Kulick. She's got a lot left in the tank as well. Tough to draw a comparison between the two. Certainly you can say that about the men's tour. Not so sure about the women's tour yet.
We're seeing that impact with Danielle McEwen and more ladies behind her, perhaps, on the PWBA Tour. We'll have our championship match. Kelly Kulick, Danielle McEwen, next from Woodland Bowl in Indy. The World Bowling Tour Women's Division Finals. Coming up, championship match. The number 2 seed, Danielle McEwen, will face the number 1 points earner, Kelly Kulick. Kelly Kulick, back-to-back winners of this event, seeking a 3rd consecutive win.
She's been really great in this event. She knows how to beat the guys, too.
The only woman to win a PBA Tour title and a major at the Tournament of Champions, Kulick has been the best in the world for the last 2 years. And she stands by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Mike. So, Kelly, you know what? This is your 3rd time that you are up here, but you have said in the past year and a half that you've had distractions, but you're coming in as the number 1 seed. So how is it that you've maintained your focus even with all the distractions?
You know, when I'm on the lanes, my job is to perform. I have to let the outside distractions just be there on the outside, and when I'm in the building, it's me against the pins. So I'm really going to focus on what got me here, my skills, me winning a few events, and just let my game shine the way it knows how to.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and good luck today. Thank you. Guys?
Thanks, Kimberly. Our championship match is being conducted using World Scoring, the World Bowling Tour World Scoring format. 10-frame match. 300 is still possible. You earn 30 pins per strike. A spare will get you 10 plus the pinfall of the first shot. Open frame is pinfall for the frame. 10 times 30 is still 300 for a perfect game, requiring 10 shots using World Scoring. Now Danielle McEwen, as directed by the number 1 seed, will begin on the left lane. And a strike and 30-pin world score for Danielle McEwen in the first.
Danielle becoming just the 9th woman in PBA history to win a PBA regional title. She did that in 2015 at South Point in Las Vegas.
Kelly Kulick, 38, 12-time pro, 9 pro titles, and 2-time defending World Bowling Tour champion. Opening shot in this championship match. 30-pin strike using world score. And we've got an even match.
Talk about a solid game. Kelly's always worked very diligently on mechanics and being in position. And she creates a lot of really good positions with her timing, her arm swing, her hand, getting her left hip out of the way so she can swing the ball underneath her right shoulder.
Consistent performances on the World Bowling Tour. He's #1 seed, and the landing was rough, but the pinfall is good.
Yeah, she looked like she stuck just a little bit and kind of tugged it and thumbed it down, and the lanes have developed in a way to where there's a little bit of hold left of target. There she is sticking right there. You can see her hand kind of staying the ball a little bit longer than normal, but because she has such a great arm swing, she's able to direct the ball on line.
McEwen line 2-pin.
And the first time she misses the pocket in a game and a couple of frames. You know, when you bowl somebody like Kelly Kulick, that's got to create a little bit of anxiety and tension for anyone.
McEwen watched these World Bowling Tour shows and wanted to get out and compete around the world and earn the points necessary, and now getting a chance to face who many people consider to be the greatest lady ever to throw a bowling ball in this generation, Kelly Kulick. And speaking of generations, McEwen has the youthful generation taking advantages of these opportunities to compete, not only in the United States, but all across the globe.
Well, Danielle also travels the world with boyfriend and tour player Marshall Kent, which is huge. I mean, and she told us both what a great help he's been for her bowling and her career. And, you know, the two of them traveling the world together, talk about a perfect match.
A match made in a bowling center. Marshall Kent and Danielle McEwen, men's and women's winners in this past year's USA Team Trials. Now Kelly Kulick, 60-pin world score, 3rd frame, can add 30 to it with another strike. 10-pin. 10-pin plus spare would net 19 and an even match.
Flat 10. Watch the 6-pin. So we take another look at her hitting the foul line. 6-pin, second to the right, just go to the sidewall and lay DOA into the right gutter.
World score 9 plus 10, 1979 apiece. In addition to Kelly Kulick's great physical game, as we look at her accomplishments, 2-time World Bowling Tour champion, defeating Liz Johnson last year, Missy Parkin the year before, 5 career women's majors. And what makes Kelly so great is, in addition to her great physical game, Randy, is her mental attitude. To her, being great means never being satisfied.
Yeah, and I think one of the great accomplishments also is she was featured in ESPN the magazine The Body issue in 2011.
She worked out so much in advance of that photo shoot, and you can still see that photo shoot online. And very gutsy thing to do, as that has become such an important spread each and every year.
I still can't believe they didn't ask me.
I would have bought a copy.
That's weird.
7 and 10 go down. 109-pin world score for Kulick. Under the world scoring format, McEwen must have a strike for 30 pins to even up the match. And mark it. 109 through 4. Next Sunday, the Stars turn out in force as 9-time NBA All-Star Chris Paul hosts the 2016 Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational. Among those scheduled to appear, Terrell Owens, Hope Solo, C.J. Anderson for the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos next Sunday at 1 Eastern on ESPN.
Any idea what kind of game C.J. Anderson has?
I've heard it's on par with Nelly.
Really?
It's that good.
Nelly's got game.
Yes, yes, yes.
How about that messenger?
Great fall for Danielle McEwen, lending to our Barbasol close shave of the day.
Head pin goes to the sidewall, gets misdirected. You don't see a messenger like that very often. Pretty cool. Danielle McEwen now with a 3-bagger.
Lick 10.
Another weak 10 on the right lane. A little softer speed or a little more hit at the bottom so Kelly can get the ball to face the 1-3 at a little better angle, and she'll carry that 10 pin.
The holy grail of the mental game, Randy. Kelly always working not to try to be perfect, because that can take away from what you do best at times.
I'll tell you, the key to the mental game is figuring out a way to get into the right place so that your body will perform the way you've trained it to perform. And Kelly Kulick's one of the greatest ever at doing that. So we take a look at her arsenal, throwing an alpha crux.
World score format, 30 for a strike, 10 plus count for a spare, count only on an open frame as Kelly Kulick trails by 11 under world scoring, 6th frame. And another 10 pin.
I like that one.
That ball much straighter up the lane, a little less
I like that one.
ground covered, and it looked like it laid in the oil a little bit too long. This is a ringing 10. The 6 is going to go around. A second pin from the right, boom, right around the 10 pin. Right now, a lot of frustration for Kelly. She likes what she's doing physically, but the ball is not going through the pins the way she wants it to. It's always a sign when you're hitting the pocket and you're not carrying all 10, bowling ball's not going through the pins the right way.
$19-pin frame for Kulick in the 6, 147 on the world score. Danielle McEwen looking to outlast Kelly Kulick and claim the World Bowling Tour Championship. The rest of our championship is coming. Welcome back to Woodland Bowl. Many consider Woodland the Yankee Stadium of bowling. Great support over the years. Kelly Kulick seeking her 3rd straight as we look at the speed and revs of Kelly Kulick.
So this is regular speed as a bowling ball. It takes about 2.5 seconds to get down the lane. Now, in slow-mo, we can actually count the revolutions. So 14 revs in 2.5 seconds over 60 feet. So her miles per hour is calculated at just a little over 16 miles an hour. Her RPM's at 336. On the women's tour, that's a kind of a medium to high rev rate range. Kelly Kulick is a player on the ladies tour who can actually get in and open up the lane because of her ball speed and her rev rate.
And we'll take a look at Jason Belmonte and his statistics in our men's division. Rest of our championship match in world scoring, McEwen can earn 30 with a strike, 6th frame. Didn't like it, and a 4-pin.
Toughest shots are always the ones out of commercial break, and Danielle McEwen didn't like this shot as it's a little left of target. Not a terrible shot by any means, just a little bit high, leaving the 4-pin.
McEwen earns a world score of 19 in the frame. 158, 147 complete world score
An 11-pin advantage for Danielle McEwen, looking to unseat Kelly Kulick, the two-time Women's World Bowling Tour champion. Kelly Kulick, two-time past winner. Carolyn Doran-Ballard winning the first. Missy Parkin back in 2012. Mika Koivuniemi, two-time winner. Mika is now semi-retired, coaching for the United Arab. Pin falls for McEwen, 30 for the frame.
Well, this looked like it was going to be a ringing 10. And watch, 6-pin goes around the 10, and the head of that pin catches enough of the 10-pin to take it out. Danielle likes that one.
Kulick's 7th frame. Pin strike, 188-177, and Kulick trails by 11. Coming up next, it's the World Bowling Tour Men's Finals. Top seed England's Dom Barrett, the Australian Jason Belmonte, and the American Mike Fagan in the opening match. Fagan-Belmonte, World Bowling Tour Men's Finals coming up next. Under the world scoring system, 30 for a strike, 10 plus pinfall for a spare. Open frame, you take what you get. 8th frame for Kulick.
And only one ball in the 10th frame.
No fill ball in the 10th. Head down, Kulick ball crosses, and a 10-pin.
Better than what they were.
She's struggling with the approach on that left lane, and this is the full Yankee to the left of target, crosses over, barely catches a piece of the head pin, leaving the 10. And that was a shot that she really wanted and really needed.
Plus 10 for the spare. World score of 19 in the 8th for Kulick. Brings her to 196. Danielle McEwen has enjoyed traveling to Japan and Thailand and Qatar. She really enjoys the Middle East. And what an opportunity for those on the World Bowling Tour to not only compete at the highest level, but to see some of the great sights around the globe. 8th frame. 10.
Another soft 10 on the right lane. Seems to be a common theme. Beautiful arm swing. Hand underneath it. She liked it. Just a little soft entering the pocket.
McEwen, a member of the winning team, including Anthony Pepe, Matt McNeil, Matt O'Grady, and Alex Cavagnero at the inaugural PBA Team Challenge as a part of the PBA Fall Classic in Las Vegas. Women's competition, PBA regional winner, PWBA Tour champion. Support of Susan Verano, Danielle's mom. Foundation frame for McEwen. 30 pins. World score 237 through 9.
In contrast to Liz Johnson, who looks basically at the foul line when she lets go of it. Look how far down the lane Danielle McEwen targets. What a great result there. Beautiful shot. Max score Kelly Kulick, 256. Max score Danielle McEwen, 267.
In the nose, 3, 6, and the 10.
He's fighting it now. Sometimes as a professional, you struggle with the approaches and it gets in your head mentally. Well left of target. You'd have to pump some extra STP in the middle part of the lane for that one to hold line.
7 and 10 for the spare. 17 world score in the 9th frame for Kulik will bring her to 213. Max score 243 with a strike. McEwen will need just 7 pins to claim the World Bowling Tour Women's Championship. Yet to come, our men's division World Bowling Tour 3-player stepladder final. 30-pin 10th frame, 243 final score for Kelly Kulik.
Great players are never satisfied, and I promise you, Kelly Kulik not happy right now.
Danielle McEwen watched the very first World Bowling Tour shows. She made it a goal to compete around the world and earn the points necessary to be here, and now on the verge of claiming the championship over Kelly Kulik, 10th frame. It's a winner on a solid 8.
Well, I promise you, nobody's surprised that Danielle McEwen won this. She is a superstar on the rise and one of the best female bowlers in the world.
And now the best World Bowling Tour Women's Champion, Danielle McEwen.
Kimberly will talk with Danielle after the break. And still to come, Australia's Jason Belmonte and the return of Mike Fagan kick off the WBT Men's Final. Danielle McEwen claims the World Bowling Tour Women's Championship.
Yeah, and a great break right there, rolling that 10-pin. But she caught fire early with a 3-bagger at the beginning of that match, and it was all Danielle late. Kelly Kulik struggling on the left lane with the approach, and Danielle McEwen captures this title for the first time.
Kimberly Pressler is laneside with our champion.
Thanks, guys. And Danielle, I see that you're very excited down here for good cause, too. You know, when we talked earlier, you said that 2 years ago you saw the WBT Championships on TV, and you made a mental note that you were going to be here. Not only are you here, but you just beat the defending champion. What's running through your mind?
It's absolutely unbelievable thrill. Like I said, it was just my goal to make it to this point, to be the top 3 in the world, to make it onto this show and to come out the winner. And against Kelly and Liz, the best women's bowlers out there, it's amazing.
Well, let's talk about the fact that they are 2 of the best women's bowlers in the world. You said earlier they helped pave the way for women bowlers, including yourself. What does it mean to you that you actually beat both of them to take this today?
It means a lot. I mean, they've really driven me my entire career to just try to follow in their footsteps and hopefully catch up to them. And I just hope that I can do the same as far as the next generation coming up. I hope people look up to me and say, that's where I want to go one day, and this is their dream to make it here one day.
And I have no doubt that they will. And congratulations on winning the WBT Championship. You've earned it.
Thank you.
Our Ebonite flashback takes us back to the inaugural World Bowling Tour Finals in 2011 in Las Vegas. Carolyn Doran Ballard won the women's event with a 207-162 final match over Sweden's Sandra Anderson.
CDB just seriously flexing her muscles in that match.
Mika Koivuniemi won the men's side by defeating Sean Rash 237-224 in the final match.
Sean Rash having some trouble. A couple of open frames helped Mika Koivuniemi to victory.
Coming up next, it's our men's division 3-player stepladder featuring Mike Fagan, and we've not seen Mike Fagan in quite a while.
Somebody said he's hitting the books.
He is hitting the books. In fact, he's in pursuit of his MBA at Cal Berkeley. And that is a pretty esteemed program as the master of Faganomics taking his strike ball in the classroom.
You know, I really miss him out here. He was one of our stars, but you know what they say, Mike? Everybody loves the smart guy.
Everybody loves the smart guy. Mike Fagan modeled his game after Pete Weber.
And as we go to break, enjoy this promo feature of a 30 for 30 short, the bad boy of bowling, featuring our own Pete Weber.
Coming up, we're bowling with Pete Weber.
I think the best way to describe Pete Weber is controlled chaos. You know that the guy's going to just absolutely erupt.
Pete Weber changed the game as we know it. He made bowling watchable.
The ratings for bowling are beating the ratings for hockey.
Well, have you seen this guy, Pete Weber? Have you seen, do we have tape on this? Do we have this guy? Watch this guy.
If there's no Pete Weber, I don't even know if there's bowling.
I don't call myself the best in the world because I suck.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Every sport needs a bad guy. And every sport needs a hero. I just so happen like to play the role of the villain.
The World Bowling Tour Men's Finals presented by the PBA rolls on at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. Mike Fagan, the number 3 seed here, earning his major title at the 2014 PBA World Championship.
Just was brilliant on this day, making shot after shot, especially when he needed it most.
Mike Fagan stands by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, we haven't seen you since last summer, and you've taken time off of the tour. What have you been up to?
Well, Kimberly, I'm currently at UC Berkeley Haas School of Business getting my MBA. Planning on phase 2 of my life. I mean, my bowling career was amazing, and I'm trying to capitalize on that and for a career in business.
So how do you shake off the rust, because you have been bowling full-time since last summer, to take on 3-time Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte?
Well, it's going to be a tall task, but you know, I'm just here to have fun and enjoy all these experiences that I have left.
All right, well, have fun and good luck to you today.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Guys.
Thanks, Kimberly. Friends on the lanes, not so much during competition. Fagan and Jason Belmonte will do battle in our opening match to determine who faces Don Barrett for the World Bowling Tour Championship.
He's got a lot going in his favor, Mike J. He's loose, he's relaxed, he's having fun, and he's got great hair.
Too quiet.
"14 years on tour and attending at the Haas School of Business at UCal Berkeley. And opening shot for Fagan is a strike, and the door is open, Randy, for future competition for Fagan as he pursues his MBA.
Yeah, it really is, but you know, he's like he said, he's going on to phase 2 of his life, and Mike Fagan, graduate of St. John's University, smart guy. He's always been a smart guy, and finance has always been something that's fascinated him.
3-time and reigning Chris Schenkel PBA Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, number 2 in points overall on the World Bowling Tour, begins with a strike using World Bowling scoring 30 for a strike, 10 plus count for a spare, and open frame results in the pins you earn. World Bowling Tour World Scoring in effect also for our men's championship. World Scoring in effect here. The CEO of World Bowling, Kevin Dornberger, in search of ways to further have bowling be valuable for the International Olympic Committee.
It's just an easier way for those that are not familiar with our sport, oh my, to kind of get a grasp on the scoring.
Does that count for 9, 10 and a half?
Watch this ball go right by the 9 pin.
No halvesies in world scoring. Pinfall with a spare would earn Belmonte 19 in the second frame. And that's how it goes down. 19 makes 49 a complete score in the second frame.
Oh my goodness.
You know, regular scoring in our sport, A strike is 10 plus what you get on the next 2 balls. A spare is 10 plus what you get on the next ball. And sometimes it's a little tough. You know, I used to keep score when I was younger. I learned how to keep score using the yellow pencils and the hot telescore units. There's a lot of folks that grew up with automatic scoring that really don't understand how to keep scoring in sport. This is an easier way.
No rust on that swing. 30 plus 30 equals 60 for Mike Fagan. Here's a look at the top 10 on the World Bowling Tour on the 2-year rolling points list. Barrett, Belmonte, Fagan just missing Osku Palermo, Sweden's Martin Larsson, Sean Rash from the USA in 6th, and Mika Koivuniemi 7th, Thomas Larsson 8th, Bill O'Neill and Stuart Williams round out the top 10 on the World Bowling Tour. And there is the CEO of World Bowling, the internationally recognized governing body for
You're just gonna
bowling.
keep the music on the whole time?
Seated next to the PBA Tour Commissioner, Tom Clark. Fagan not showing much rust early, Randy.
No, you're right. 2 completely different routes to the pocket. Mike Fagan, much more direct and much straighter up the lane.
And a stunner, 5-pin.
Mike Fagan really came into his own on this tour when he perfected his straight game. You know, he first came out, he could really hook it gutter to gutter, and struggled when he had to go straighter. He worked on it for about 2 years, and it won him his first major.
9 plus 10 for the spare. World score of 19 in the 3rd and 79 complete through 3 for Fagan, who won his first title in 2008 with Danny Wiseman at the PBA Exempt Doubles Classic. First singles title coming later at the 2010 Dick Weber Open, followed by that major that we saw. Jason Belmonte up. His arsenal is the high road. The 6 indicates 6 out of 10 for hook potential. 3rd frame. 30-pin strike, even match in world scoring.
Power and revolutions of Jason Belmonte to go along with excellent pin carry, and you see it right there. The unfortunate pocket 9-pin in the 2nd frame, otherwise he's perfect through 3, but you don't see Jason and a lot of the 2-handed no-thumb players leave a lot of solid 9s, a lot of solid 8s, because their bowling balls slow down so much going through the pins because of all that power. Their pin carry is exceptional.
4th frame in our opening match. The winner here will get Dom Barrett for the championship in the World Bowling Tour. 4th frame. And that's a 30-pin strike for Jason Belmonte.
Well, we couldn't see it because Jason was standing in the way, but that time the 9-pin was up, and he actually stared at it and made it fall. Like, don't you even dare. Ooh, that was close.
Intense. Belmonte clears the deck, 109 complete with world scoring. Fagan, to keep pace, must strike. 4th frame.
Whoa.
And a reset.
Still a little rusty.
Fagan admitting a little rust. Here's a look at his arsenal. He's got the phase, not the strongest ball in his bag. It's an 8 on the scale of 10.
Fagan needs to pump the brakes, take a deep breath, and regroup.
Mixing 4-pin.
Last 2 shots could have struck easily. Very often you see the Swisher 4-pin standing. And Fagan early on doesn't look like he's got any rust on him at all. He's throwing it really nice.
Fagan picks up the spare. That's 9 plus 10 equals 19 under the world score. 98 complete for Fagan. He now trails by 11. Look at Mike Fagan's top finishes. Prior to going to business school, he competed for 2 years on the World Bowling Tour, earning his victory at the World Championship in 2014, runner-up at the Men's World Championship, and third at the 2014 Kingdom event. Frame, mixing strike, and 30, world score. 1:28 through 5 for Mike Fagan.
Another light hit that finally strikes for Mike Fagan. Has not missed the pocket yet and struck 3 out of 5 frames. Could be all 5 real easy. Now, Jason Belmonte sporting the facial fescue, working on 2 in a row.
In the nose, and the 8 count with a spare in world scoring would net 18 pins.
Never got it far enough to the right. And with the rev rate that high, not enough oil in the middle of the lane to keep that on line.
So the count there, a feature of the world scoring, 18 for the frame. And now Belmonte trails by 1 through 5.
Remember, a strike counts as 30 for the frame. A spare is 10 plus what the player knocked down on that first ball. So that frame there for Belmonte, 18. Trails by 1 as we take a look at his WBT top finishes. Masters first. Masters again for second. The Oklahoma Open.
6th frame, Belmonte. Off balance landing, but a strike plus 30 for Belmonte. The king of swing, Mike Fagan, back in action against his good friend Jason Belmonte. The winner advances to the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship when we return. Three-time PBA Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, locked up with Mike Fagan in our opening match for the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. Let's get behind the numbers with Jason Belmonte.
About 2 seconds for Jason Belmonte typically to get his bowling ball from the foul line to the pins. Let's take a look at his revolutions en route. How about 19 in 2 seconds? Do the math. About 20 miles an hour with a rev rate approaching 600. Definitely the higher end of the scale on the men's tour. I'm not sure there's a lot that approach or that get close to that 600 number. I mean, maybe Oscar Palermo gets close to that. E.J. Tackett with his thumb in can get close to that number. But don't kid yourself, folks. As far as power goes, that's the high end of the spectrum.
Gold standard is Belmonte. Fagan mixes up a strike. That's good for 30 world score in the frame. Through 6, Fagan 158, a 1-pin advantage over Belmonte.
Right foot open, keeps the hips nice and open. And again, a lot of light shots for Mike. The last 2 carries all 10, 2 in between. Shaker 5-pin, shaker 4-pin, and he started with a double.
Fagan, formerly known as the master of Faganomics. Numbers and finance have always been in his interest level as he attends school at UC Berkeley, and that's how he knows. And a break on a 9-pin, 30-pin frame.
Remember that Belmonte in the second frame left the solid 9. Fagan trips the 9-pin. Watch this. Pretty cool. Some good pin action there. Yeah, you know, the late, great Dick Weber said winning never gets old, and Mike Fagan just showed you why that is with that great react.
7th frame, Belmonte's done a lot of winning himself. And that's a 30-pin frame. Maintains the 1-pin deficit, does Belmonte. 188, 187 world score complete through 7.
Keep an eye on this next shot on the left lane. Last time up on that lane, he stuck. Kelly Kulick in the women's finals, she stuck twice on the left lane.
Three frames to play. World scoring in effect, 30 per frame, including the 10th frame, with the one opportunity for a 30-pin strike, no fill ball. First crack of the 8th belongs to Jason Belmonte. He trails by 1. Yes! 30-pin strike for Belmonte. World score, 217.
Well, if both players take it to the 10th frame, they'll be in the 270s. Fagan can strike out 8th, 9th, and 10th for 278. Jason Belmonte striking out 9th and 10th gives him 277.
And that one comes up short, 245.
Trying to go straight, sometimes you run the risk of missing the finger holes at the bottom. And that's exactly what happened right there. Fagan just misses this a little bit right. And it's the 245.
World score, 17 max in the 8th with the spare conversion. 7 plus 10, 17 for Fagan. And this is our hammer tough spare replay.
Re-rack, please.
Belmonte with a 12-pin advantage now after that spare for Fagan, and we'll get a re-rack.
Max score, Mike Fagan, 265. He still has a chance to win this opening match on the men's side. Jason Belmonte again striking the 9th and 10th, 277.
World score of 30 in the 9th, 235 complete. Frame for Fagan.
A little more direct, a little more towards the second arrow on that left lane, and a perfect shot when he needed it most, giving him a chance in setting up the 10th frame. Nine spare is all Belmonte needs here in the 10th.
World score, 9 spare, and Belmonte moves on. 10th frame. Not only not a 9, that's 8 count split.
Well, now he needs to convert for a tie should Fagan strike in the 10th. It looked like he got soft and short on this shot, leaving both the 4 and the 10. Somehow he's going to have to try to slide the 4-pin over. Get the ball over into here, throw it into the 10.
Opts for the count.
Unbelievable.
And that's a 9-pin world score in the 10th, 256 final.
Mike Fagan must strike on this ball.
The difference is 21. The only option for Fagan is a 30-point world score in the 10th for the win.
Taking a lot of time.
Fagan on the full reset, and the full reset of the pre-shot routine, strike to advance to the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. Fagan slaps out the 10. He's a winner, advancing to face Don Barrett. Some things, Randy, you don't forget.
Beautiful shot.
Fagan advances to the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship in pursuit of the World Bowling Tour trophy, symbolic of the best in the world on the World Bowling Tour. Championship match is coming. The World Bowling Tour Men's Final presented by the PBA rolls on at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the 2016 World Bowling Tour schedule ready to circle the globe, getting underway February 24th with the HH Emir Cup. And then tournaments in Bahrain, Germany, Thailand, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait in the Middle East. Wrapping up with the PBA World Series of Bowling 8 in Reno later in 2016. Kimberly Pressler is with Kevin Dornberger, CEO for World Bowling.
Thanks, Mike. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me here. So the scoring system today is a little bit different than last year's. Why don't you tell me what the changes are?
Well, the changes are pretty simple. It's a strike is 30, the frame is done. 9 spare is 19, that frame is done. 9-0 is 9, the frame is done. Premise is that at the end of each frame, there's no more thinking or guessing. There's no more waiting for more shots. There's a definitive score at the end of each frame, and somebody's winning and somebody's losing.
Simplifying it. So why did you decide to go with this type of scoring?
Well, we tried, as you know, match play last year, frame by frame, and I guess most people weren't thrilled with it. This is much closer to our current scoring system, but it accomplishes the goal, and that is clarifying who's winning and who's losing at the end of each frame.
Now, I know that you were spearheading the push to try and get bowling into Olympics. What is going on with that?
Well, we had a bonus opportunity for Tokyo 2020. It was earlier than the rules that existed allowed us before. We were in the final 8. We were in the short list, which bowling's never been in the short list before. Unfortunately, we didn't make the cut. We're not in Tokyo, but we're still in play for 2024, which is the normal process. So we're as close as we've ever been. People out there, don't give up. We're going to be an Olympic sport pretty soon.
I would love to see bowling as an Olympic sport. Thank you so much for your time, Kevin.
You're
Guys,
welcome.
back to you.
Thanks, Kimberly. Coming up, it's the men's final on the World Bowling Tour. Mike Fagan takes on England's Dom Barrett when we return to Woodland Bowl. Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the World Bowling Tour Finals presented by the PBA. It's our men's championship match featuring the #1 seed Dom Barrett. And we haven't seen him win, but he did in 2012 for a major at the World Championship.
Yeah, his first major came down to the 10th frame. Remember, he thought the score was different. Got the first hit. He actually needed 2. He got real excited after the first one. He needed pins after that. Thankful he came back with a great shot after it, and he gets to hoist the hardware. Let's go down to the floor and Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I'm actually joined with the #1 seed, Dom Barrett. Now, Dom, you know, a lot of the players have told me before that arguably you are one of the hottest players on tour right now. You just missed making the TOC, and the last 3 shows you've been on, you've gotten second. So what do you have to do today to just get over that hump to take home a win?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I've done a lot of stuff right in the shows I've made, and I think I'm just going to continue to do that. I've had some success early, and I think that evens out when you get on TV. So I think I've been through the seconds now, and I'm ready for another win.
And thank you so much, and I wish you good luck today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Guys, back to you.
He's got great eyebrows.
He does indeed.
Those things are manicured perfectly.
And he has the PBA record for highest bounce when spiking a rosin bag after that 2012 World Championship win. And then he cleaned up the count for the official victory. Mike Fagan, the number 3 overall on the World Bowling Tour points list, takes the points leader on for the World Bowling Tour Championship. And the crown of best bowler on the planet. Fagan getting right back into the saddle in pro competition with that strike to defeat Belmonte. Now opening shot for the championship match is a 10-pin using the world scoring system. 9 plus 10 would be 19.
Fagan only missing the pocket once thus far, and almost a pocket 7-10. We're going to see Dom Barrett play the lanes a little bit different, though.
9 count, 10 for the spare using the world scoring. That's 19 in the complete first frame for Mike Fagan, 30 for a strike, 10 plus pinfall for the spare, and the open frame results in just that pinfall. And now opening shot for Dom Barrett. He's 30 out of Colchester, England. 4 tour titles, 6 years on tour, and the 3-time World Bowling Writers Bowler of the Year. And his opening pitch. Powerful strike for Barrett.
Heavy rolling, and that ball went through the pins real hard. Dom Barrett reminds me a lot of Wes Malott. Smaller frame, you know, not that big body. Wes Malott's a big man, but this is the mini-me of Wes Malott, in my opinion. Great release. A lot of the same fundamentals, the swing, but that beautiful release at the bottom, that's the moneymaker. As we take a look at the World Bowling Tour scoring, 10-frame match, no extra shots in the 10th frame. A strike's 30, a spare's 10 plus whatever you knock down.
10 is still a 300 game, which is possible for Barrett. 30 plus 30 equals 60 complete through 2 using world scoring. Mike Fagan, not uncomfortable playing the role of underdog. Taking out the 3-time player of the year, now facing Dom Barrett. Strike. 30, world score 49 through 2 for Fagan.
He's been in that swish zone all day. Needs to find a way to strike more. The king of swing. That wrist that's inverted at the top, recovers, gets his hand back underneath it at the bottom. And wife Emily here in the crowd today, showing her appreciation for Mike in that last strike.
And her motivation. Emily motivates Mike to get better. And interesting to note that Mike's international background was the key to his acceptance in the Haas School of Business, currently studying at Cal Berkeley. All of the international experience around the world as a professional bowler. 3rd frame. 10.
Making good shots. Just went light that one ball the last game, but this is a really nice shot. Straight up about the 8th board, rolling up into the pocket, and vicious ring and 10. Wondering why he's blowing in the thumb hole. What happens is the heat out of his lungs creates a little bit of moisture in that thumb hole and just gives him a little bit better feel and grip on that ball. Does it on the strike ball as well. You know, some players do that and it becomes habit. It's all feel and what they like to feel inside that thumb hole.
World score of 68 complete, 3 frames, and Dom Barrett taking the next step, a key, as Barrett with the Optimus in his arsenal.
Imagine you blowing your breath on a mirror, right? That's kind of what they're doing in that thumb hole. I used to do it a lot.
Just enough.
Yeah, just enough to give it a little tacky feel. Then I just started using rosin.
Splits the 8 to 9 Barrett, 30, 60, 90 world score.
Let's take a look at our track TikTok involving Dom Barrett's release, folks. Those of you at home that think you have to turn your hand around the side of the bowling ball to get it to curve, we'll take a look where Dom Barrett's fingers are. You can see he's tucking the pinky right there. and those fingers are behind. And look at that ball roll. That's what makes the ball adhere to the lane surface, and all it is a quarter turn at release to get that ball to curve.
Perfect through 3. Barrett, 4th frame.
Dom Barrett, another player among many out here on the PBA Tour that have gone to 16 pounds.
And that's our first world Hambo. Fagan loves traveling the world. He loves visiting Japan and Tokyo. Emily and Mike got to go to Paris, and they really enjoyed the history and the culture and the mix of the ancient as well as the new and the pop culture. Part of traveling on the World Bowling Tour. 4th frame.
Wow. There's a nice break.
Next Sunday, the Stars turn out in force as 9-time NBA All-Star Chris Paul hosts the 2016 Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational. Among those scheduled to appear, Terrell Owens, Hope Solo, C.J. Anderson from the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos next Sunday. CP3 on ESPN at 1 Eastern.
Chris Hardwick's going to be there. Can't wait to see him. He's always a blast to hang out with.
A little before midnight with Hardwick. And Messenger misses the 10.
So that's the story of this match thus far through 5 frames, is the pin carry. Although Dom Barrett has high flushed 4 shots in a row. Look at this Messenger. Looked like it was on its way to take the 10 out. So it's a 10 pin in the first, a 10 pin in the third, and a 10 pin in the 5th for Mike Fagan.
Spare means 10 plus count 9, 9 for 19 under the world scoring format. 117 completed 5th frame for Mike Fagan. Dom Barrett likes to try to gain advantages over those with more power, and he feels that creativity, Randy, the best part of his game as we look at the top finishes on the World Bowling Tour. How is creativity a part of Dom's game?
Well, he's able to visualize and see ball motion on the lanes, and then he kind of gets that in his mindset and then just basically dictates how he wants the ball to come out of his hand to replicate that. He's very creative. He's a very visual guy, and you know, obviously you have to have the athleticism and the tools in the box to back that up. Dom has that.
And then he also then takes his versatility added to that creativity.
Yeah, and again, it's all, you know, it's the complete package. It's what creates champions out here, and it's what creates world champions. Right now, Dom Barrett, perfect through 5 frames. By the way, the last shot had just a hint of filth on it.
Dom's goal is to pick the right time and the right tool and execute. And he executes in the 6, another 30 in frame. All Dom Barrett. 6 consecutive strikes. Barrett in command as the World Bowling Tour will crown its men's champion when we return to Woodland Bowl. Jerseys that are available exclusively at PBA.com. The jerseys are made from high-performance fabric and can be customized for each person or team. Head to PBA.com today and get started. Just click the custom jersey link to get started. And before we get back to action, Kimberly Pressler is laneside with the 3-time PBA Player of the Year.
I am, Mike. Thanks so much. Jason, thank you so much for taking the time and talking with me right now. So why don't you walk me through what happened in the 10th?
Yeah, I don't like these conversations, Kimberly. I'm having them way too often with you. But look, you know, I just wanted to try and get the ball to get a little further to the right. And, you know, I just kind of went through the swing a little too quick. It got to my release point a little bit too fast, and it just changed the launch angle a little bit. So instead of shooting off to the right, it kind of went up the lane a little too much. I was really hoping for a 4-pin, and then I saw the 10-pin standing with it. Yeah, no good.
No good at all. But despite the loss, how fun was it going up against Mike, your friend, who you haven't had a chance to do that with in a while?
No, I liked it better when he was retired. And I think he should, Mike, retire for good. Okay, stop beating me.
Jason, thank you so much for being a good sport. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Kimberly. Mike Fagan reaching the championship. He has reached a crossroads in his career, and he's taking time out to study in business school at the Haas School of Business at UC Berkeley in pursuit of his MBA, three-time All-American at St. John's, college grad, looking to extend his collegiate career. And back in competition and in a hole, sixth frame using world scoring. 30 pins would make 147. Sorely needed, and that is the result. World score of 147 complete for Fagan.
Well, he was tired of going light, so he went to a stronger ball, and that one faced up nicely for a little high flush action.
Fagan trails by 33, and another look.
Big high backswing, but it's such a beautiful backswing in that it's in line. Just a little bit to the outside, drops to the inside on the way down, helps keep the hand and the elbow in. Just all about being in position.
As Fagan pursues his MBA, he has now looked differently upon his 14 years as a pro bowler, and looking back on his 2 years qualifying for World Bowling Points, just enjoying those 2 years just a little bit more, and a little bit more time to complete his frame in the seventh.
Well, the NBA is nice, but right now he needs to recall his DNA from when he used to bowl a lot on TV and win. He is just a couple of frames away from taking this title down, but the only way this is going to happen is by him striking out.
Seventh frame, perfect strike plus 30 in the complete frame. World score 177 through 7 for Fagan.
And you could see the stronger bowling ball sucking up to the pocket much sooner. Last two shots are any indication whatsoever about the ball change. Right now it looks perfect.
$10,000 bonus for a perfect game is in effect for the world scoring. In other words, be the first time that a 10-strike perfect game would pay off. Seventh frame for Barrett. Six stops the 10.
Anytime you see that motion, that type of pin action when you're right-handed, boy, if you could bottle that up and sell it, you'd make a fortune. Watch the six spin go to the sidewall for Dom Barrett. Bang. I mean, this is quick, too. This is just the six. Just giving a little high karate to the 10 pin. Perfect through 7. 3 more strikes. Frames 8, 9, and 10. Remember, only 1 ball in the 10th frame under the new World Bowling Tour scoring system. He is 3 strikes away for $10,000 and this championship.
Barrett drills it straight back, no doubt strike in the 8th. Perfect through 8, world score 240.
Making it look pretty easy. And that's what a top professional does when they're clicking on all cylinders. Dom Barrett's got a lot of power. He's got a great game, does all the right things, and when he gets the right ball in his hand and executes, he's as good as anybody on this tour.
Non-title event here at the World Bowling Tour, as the perfect game would pay off in the bonus but not be officially recognized, and a non-title event for Barrett. But first, Fagan in the 8th. Mixing 10.
Oh well, fun while it lasted.
Right now, max score for Mike Fagan, 256. Dom Barrett needs 9. That'll put him at 258. But there's bigger fish to fry, Mike J. Strike in the 9th, strike in the 10th, $10,000. He's buying. Everybody's happy.
Grand per strike, the world score, where 300 is still a perfect game, just requiring 10 strikes Barrett, 9th frame. World Bowling Tour Men's Championship within reach.
And he's got 9. That 16-pounder with all that power sure goes through the pins hard, doesn't it?
So a world score situation, a perfect game. Normally you'd have to do that 3 times an attempt, but under these circumstances, just one more strike from perfection.
Well, he's won this championship, and he's just 1 strike away from another bonus. Be fun to watch this thing knock all 10 down.
Dom Barrett is your World Bowling Tour men's champion, defeating Mike Fagan. 9 strikes in a row, world scoring system, $10,000 bonus for the 10th.
Barrett is perfect. 10 goes down. 10 grand. Men's World Bowling Tour champion, Barrett in style.
That's 10 grand if you didn't know.
Not throwing the other 2 anyway.
He didn't know it. He does now. $10,000 bonus.
Thanks, Roger.
On top of $20,000. And the World Bowling Tour men's champion is England's Dom Barrett.
2 years, man. You deserve it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Great to see Mike Fagan back on the lanes, and Dom Barrett 10 times for 10 grand, the first world score of 300. Kimberly Pressler catches up with our champion when we come back. The first perfect game using world scoring, 300 for Dom Barrett, and he claims the title of world's best bowler in the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. Time now for the Geico Championship recap, Randy.
And starting with the ladies, Danielle McEwen got off to a nice start, kept it a 3-bagger, 3rd, 4th, and 5th frame. She wins the ladies championship, 256-243 over Titan Kelly Kulick. Then in the men's matchup that you just witnessed, Dom Barrett, perfect. 10 strikes in a row. In the new World Bowling Tour scoring system, 10 is all you need for perfection. Dom Barrett wins the title, 300 to 256. Now let's go down to the lanes and Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. And Tom Clark, I think you have a little something for Dom.
Thanks, Kim. Congratulations, Dom. You got to love this new scoring system. 10 strikes, you still bowl the first 300 using the World Bowling scoring system, and that's still worth a bonus of $10,000 from the PBA, so congratulations. Awesome. Awesome bowl.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I like the scoring system. Haven't missed on it yet. That's pretty cool. Thank you very much. That's great.
So, Dom, you bowled a perfect 300 game, got yourself $10,000. How much do you like this new scoring system?
You know, it's a little bit different. I understand the reasons behind it, and you know, as long as we get to bowl on the biggest stage, which is on tour and on PBA and on the World Bowling Tour, then I think that's great for bowling, and I couldn't be happy to win this event.
Well, it's got to be pretty exhilarating when everything matches up and you just bowl like that. Walk us through the actual match.
Well, you know, I had the practice before, and I just wanted to come out and enjoy myself. My friends are here. They've kind of started to wear suits and make the night of it, and I just kind of got in the atmosphere a little bit and try to enjoy myself as much as possible. Taking it serious, obviously, because we're still bowling for a title, and it's been a long 2 years building up to this. So, but just have a little bit of fun and enjoy myself. And as you can see from the scores and the ball reaction, the lane conditions weren't too challenging, really, and it's a great bowling centre here. But we managed to make the most of it, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
Now, we talked about it earlier in the show that it's been a little bit since you've been in the winner's circle here in the United States, because you have won internationally. What's it like to be back?
You know, it's great. You know, I said before that I just had to keep bowling good because I've been bowling pretty well on TV, and eventually it's going to work out, and yeah, it happened today, so it's great.
Well, Dom, congratulations on winning the WBT Championship.
Congratulations to Dom Barrett, World Bowling Tour men's champion, and a little extra, 10 grand for the first world score of 300. Our next telecast of the PBA Tour will be the Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational. Chris Paul and friends, next Sunday at 1 Eastern.
The best bowlers in the world around the world in 720 days. 2 years on the World Bowling Tour, and Danielle McEwen with Dom Barrett claim the World Bowling Tour women's and men's titles. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, this is Mike Jakubowski. So long from Woodland Bowl. Next up, CP3.